Nation Las Vegas. Here, I'm Captain of IMC Nation, the movement founded by AZD, the bald guy with all the tattoos that you see in all the clips. That's what we grow these accounts on. And so the topic today is social anxiety, whatever that is. It was something much more relevant for me in the past, and it is something that can be overcome. It's not even really a thing, it's just a feeling or an experience that people have. And maybe it's like a chronic condition kind of thing where they just like always have it, or they have it a lot. Or sometimes you just find yourself like public speaking would be an example. Like maybe you're not socially an anxious person, but standing in front of like 10,000 people in a stadium, you might get a little social anxiety. You call it public speaking anxiety, but it's essentially the same thing. Guys that have small scale social anxiety are thinking that everybody's listening to them. That's still the same manifestation of a public speaking anxiety or whatever. And so, in short, basic remedy is just get more comfortable being heard. Like, be proud of what you're saying. If anybody, young and old, you understand, like, maybe you're cursing, you don't want young or old people to hear it, but like, whatever you're talking about, like, you are certain of what you're doing. And if you are not certain of what you're doing, then you'll be afraid of like who's hearing you because it might be low value. You need to be certain that what you're saying has value to people and that you're not gonna fuck up a situation and make it so bad or so miserable or embarrass yourself in such a way that brings such bad reputation to yourself. And how do you get that? Because that's the fear in the beginning is stop trying to do things. Learn to be around people without having to do something. And in the beginning, you might be like a wallflower and you got nothing to say and you don't know what to do. Like, that's the thing. You want to not do something while you're doing things. Like you're living, obviously. I'm not saying sit in on your couch all day and do nothing. But when you're out and you're doing things, there's an extra effort that's not necessary to do what it is. Like, let's say if you see someone running, it takes some effort to run. If you're gonna run, there's kind of a minimal amount of energy that you have to exert to run. You can't just sit and run at the same time. It's two different things. But then if you've ever seen somebody run and they're like throwing their arms out to the side or they're turning their body a lot or their head's like bobbing when they're running, like they have terrible, you know intuitively, it's like terrible efficiency. They have no efficiency and they're doing a lot of extra effort to run. Same thing. You would see this anytime you try to do like a new skill. Let's say you're like carpenter and you're gonna put some wood together to like build something, or you're gonna assemble the shoe rack or whatever. Like there's all this extra effort that's not necessary because you don't know what you're doing. But it's out of ignorance, not out of carelessness or out of ego necessarily. But is it? Because if you slow down, you might get there faster. Tortoise and the hare kind of thing. Just like if you're running, if you were able to see that you're out of character, man, you're flailing energy in wrong directions, and it's not only making you look goofy, but it's fatiguing you. And it's going to make you grow resentful of the thing because you're going to get wear and tear and all kinds of things. Same thing with game and social dynamics. You're adding an extra effort through ego. Essentially, it's ego, but we don't need to like go into calling it ego or whatever. It's just the attempt to manipulate people, basically. Make them like you, make them respect you, instead of having certainty that what you're saying is likable and respectable. And if they don't like it or respect it, maybe there's something about your delivery, or maybe they're just not your people and you can move on. And so you don't get hurt by any individual's rejection. How do you get to that place for a man? Is really you need a team. You need a team of guys because you're not going to really have loyalty from girls like that where they're your team and able to reflect. You need guys. It's either going to be guys or girls, and it's not going to be girls, especially since that's the thing you're going for. You're going for like 10, 12, 15, 100, however many girls around you, and it's easier to get the guys around you. And if you try to just get the few guys that I've met that can get the girls around them and they couldn't get the guys around them, because it's the guys will come first. Now, that's the natural order of things. Men in a tribe would get along with men before they're getting women. And the few guys that kind of try to hack the code and just go right to women, very weak men. They get a lot of women, they don't really get them, and they don't get the highest value women. They get average because the woman is going to go with a leader and a powerful man, a man that leads a tribe, leads a team. And if you're part of a really good team, every man is a leader in that team under the right context. even in just moment to moment situations, we lead each other. There's a way to hand the baton off so you're not a ball hog, and yet you don't lose your value because you let another man lead you. You decisively hand over the baton, he decisively leads you, then it's whatever. You're part of a team, and you don't have to game with wingmen or whatever. You can still go solo dolo or whatever. But bringing it back to the point, how do you have certainty on that you're likable and you're valuable? So that when you do interact with, sometimes you like somebody or you like the girl or the rich guy or somebody affluent, influential, you want them to like you. And when they don't, or there's a rejection, quote, rejection, when your value estimation is much more important about your team, like that the team that you've chosen to succeed in life with, their opinions matter more than the celebrity or the hot chick or whatever, then you can really relax into being more yourself. Now, the teachings and the way the system is here, because that's where the teachings come from. Buddhism comes from all sorts of sources, but those guys who practice those things still suck at social dynamics because they're not applying it to that field. So, removing the extra unnecessary effort in social dynamics removes a huge layer of the social anxiety. To stop trying to do things to people and make them respond a certain way. If you do, let's say you're telling a joke. Obviously, you're telling a joke so the person laughs. Okay? Again, there's the effort of the joke. A joke is a real thing that you can do. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's say there's just any element of inauthenticity becomes effort. If it's authentically the moment for that, how do you find authenticity? What does that mean when you're authentic? Troy, what do you think? How do you know when you're being authentic? Or is that a thing? Is what I'm saying making sense? Is it a reality for you that in social interactions sometimes you're authentic, sometimes you're not, and that seems to be that important.
I think when you're going out of your way to like communicate, you're communicating something that isn't authentic. Um, if you see like the 10 at the bar and you're gonna say hello right out the bat, that's not authentic. That's you trying to maneuver something. Um, but yeah, I'll let you speak more on it because I'm not sure if I hit it.
Yeah. And is that the only time that you see people being authentic is when they're talking to tens, or do you see it in other situations?
If someone's nervous, you can tell they're not authentic because they're not coming from, their inner being. They're not being themselves. They're, you know, um scared, I guess. If you're scared, you're not authentic. You have to be confident in yourself and deliver. I'm not gonna say deliver the message, but deliver the words that you're trying to convey. And then, you don't need a response, you don't need validation. You're just there for the conversation, I think.
Right. And so that's interesting. So people, when they're nervous, they're being inauthentic, and maybe they're being inauthentic because they're nervous, and it's just like catch 22. And so it's like, well, why don't they just let that go and just be themselves? And what if, however they communicate when they're just themselves, has been rejected and violated so many times and embarrassed that they have a legitimate in their own mindset, they have a legitimate fear about being themselves because it could result in embarrassment and social reputation failure and all kinds of things that, like, what do you tell a person like that? They're like, Troy, help me out. I'm nervous and it makes me inauthentic. And when I'm authentic, I get burned and rejected.
Well, I'm gonna say you have to sit back and listen for the appropriate time to speak. You don't have to go out of your way and be the first one to talk. If you're in a group setting, you want to listen to get the most out of the conversation. You're not going to be the first one to speak. You're not going to talk the most. You're just going to hit when you need to. But mainly, the best advice would be to listen, I think, because you're already afraid. You're already down on yourself. You're not going to hit a home run with anything that you say because you're coming from that place. But if you listen, you might feel a little more comfortable. And then when you're comfortable, you might be able to say something relevant.
Yeah, I like the point about comfort. The more comfortable we can get. Now, how does a man become comfortable in a place that he's not comfortable? And in the AZD system, it has to do with a lot of all the other things you're doing with your day. If you've really burned yourself to the core to achieve, including your health and wellness and all sorts of things, if you lived a life of discipline that day, and it accumulates days, weeks, months, years, lifetime, you've been disciplined. But that day, let's say you were pushing hard, you did your morning routine and you were on your shit, then you can at least sit in that pride and gratitude that you had that. If you were really undisciplined in your day and emotional and just like when you feel hungry, you did that. And when you felt tired, you did that. And like you have purpose, a man of purpose. And then, what I'm realizing also, the inauthenticity, there's a, a lack of clarity about one's purpose and their philosophies. And so when they describe themselves, describe the situation, or they talk, they're not being clear about what it is. There's a lot of miscommunication because they're still vague in their own mind about it. And could that be called inauthenticity? Like it, maybe not. I think it's an emotion that's trying to control how one is being perceived. And what I see is guys do that a lot when they get in relationships. They do it to get the girl, but at some point, there will be barriers that a man's going to come across in the relationship. Other guys, old friends, family members that are trying to be controlling, social media, money issues, even just bullshit that she may bring up on like her period or whatever. And the guy will, quote, compromise or break character. He was a certain alpha boss, bad dude when she got with him. And then when she's on her period or he's at a weak moment or, money issue or something, and he demonstrates weakness. That throws a big wrench in the situation because is he being inauthentic when he's being weak, or was he being inauthentic when he was being strong? And is he just multiple personality, as many, 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 almost all people probably are? And it doesn't always have to be extreme situations, little moments, little pecking or nagging or challenges that the girl does. It's not a mystery. It's just, it's so nuanced. How can I possibly talk about all the little nuances of it? But basically, she's always going to challenge when you have micro moments of weakness. It doesn't have to be huge moments of weakness where you were just like, we're sad about your dog ate your homework or something. Like, that's pathetic, obviously. But just a little uncertainty about what you're doing today. I don't know, or man, I really have to do this thing, but or man, I really don't want to work out. So, like little weakness like that, or when you're a player, the way you handle another girl, or if you're a businessman, the way you handle a client or customer, and of course, if she says or does something just slightly off because maybe she has a tummy ache or something, and then you respond overreactively, that's also weakness. And so, where's the authenticity come into that? I think the emotion makes the person act out of character, and it's really the emotion running the body. The emotion is communicating for the person. And that's inauthentic to who the person would be if they were calm, relaxed, and whatever. Just like you were saying, if you're in a social venue and you're relaxed and comfortable there, and you're not trying to control other people's perception of you, but you would naturally be yourself, like you would around just your closest friends or the family members that love and trust you the most, or whatever you got going on that's good. Now, some people got nothing. And that's where it's like, okay, we got to get in and do some real hardcore daily discipline. You need to be able to survive by yourself in a solitary confinement prison. You need to have solid daily discipline. You got to feed your mind the right philosophies that include different references and studies and things like that. And then we got to get you communicating. Got to get you in some kind of occupation or out in the world. Just obviously, you got to get out of the house to do something, do your laundry or grocery shop or something. You be around people. Like if you have a solid, disciplined daily process, start repatterning how you're socially interacting with people, their responses, get a different image of yourself, and ultimately you got to come and be around the team. AZD is a change worker, and the team is a team of change workers now that we've been around them so much. It's just what it is. We're a laboratory, an ecosystem here for a man to wake up that he's on a prison planet that's totally suppressed his masculinity, invalidated him since childbirth practically, left and right, and cultured him to be a feminist weakling. And he wakes up to certain red pill ideas. He's like, yeah, that's true, that's true. And it rings true to the core because there's a lot of truths in what those red pill guys say. But there's an incongruence because there's so much emotion and they're not able to apply it to actually bettering their lives outside of just feeling so righteous about their red pill knowledge. They feel so good because they know the truth, but their relationships are suffering. Outside of relationships where they're shooting the shit with other guys about red pill truth, they can't even have a conversation with guys other than red pill truth. That's all they can talk about is red pill shit. That's all we talk about too. This is the red pill of relationships, which is built on the red pill of all the other red pills. All the other red pills. If you want a really truly red pill on women, then you got a hella red pill on government, hella red pill on religion, hella red pill on aliens, hella red pill on vaccines, hella red pill on Illuminati, hella red pill on language and mind control, the web of spells that control our mind. Because that's ultimately where it all is going to come from. Government means to lead the mind. She's being led by government ideas. Language is casting spells on her. It's casting spells on you too. You got to master the spells that are running your life to help guide her out of her hell. Yeah, I bring in spirituality. Demons are real. Like this shit wanders the planet. This is a planet that's controlled by, man, you just got to look around and see how much everybody's failing, how miserable everybody is. And yet we hold on to these glimmers of truth and these aphorisms and quotes. And we love motivational videos and all kinds of, because we want the light. We're striving for the light. But how do we integrate that into our lifestyle? Man, you're dealing with a bunch of zombies that are inhabited by a bunch of evil ideas that make them suppressive towards you, knee-jerk react to all kinds of goodness that are in their life. They self-sabotaging, all that shit. Like, why would a person self-sabotage? Because they're infected with self-sabotage. I don't even want to call them demons, just wrong circuitry. You can think of it like that. It's just wrong circuitry, wrong neural pathways that when some shit good happens to them, they act badly. That makes them lose that shit. That's the same thing with like money habits or girl habits. Money habits, you win the lottery, but you got bad neurology on how to channel that currency and you lose it all. And it's like the other one, the guy makes money and he's stingy and accumulates, doesn't know how to funnel money back into the society in a way that gives him experience socially. He'll get experience like in the business, maybe he funnels it back to his real estate business or whatever, but can you funnel it into social experience that you evolve with? Yeah, you could always buy a girl a purse or take a vacation or whatever. There's experience in everything. You spend money, you're going to get some experience out of it. But how can you really milk this thing? Because billionaires have all the money in the world, but they still suck with women. It's just shown example after example after example after example, just so many examples. Rich guys suck with women, athletes suck with women, celebrities suck with women. It's a really bad condition. You just got to look at it. It could be like, well, Yogi, you're trying to convince me of it, like, or AZD's trying to convince me of it. Just look. Just got to look around. And the thing about it is people don't have references. So they're dull. They have dull habits. Dull. If you've ever like revamped your daily habit, like you started drinking some amazing health drink or you got into yoga and none of your friends got into yoga, pretty soon you see that they're very unhealthy. They're very stiff or, you know, their digestion's off or something like that. Like when you make a lifestyle. Now, if you changed all aspects of your lifestyle, you would see how dim everybody else is around you. And when you get more integrated with the social area in a way that you're conquering, you're winning. I have no social anxiety. Doesn't mean I get every girl, but I have no social anxiety, man, and I'm calibrated, constantly calibrating up and down. Like I'm not just sociopathic, not feeling social anxiety, or drunk out of my mind or on coke and not feeling social anxiety. I don't feel social anxiety. I feel when the pressures are on, they're trying to put pressures on me. And that's it. I'm like Aikido, just deflect that pressure, just shoulder out of the way. They roll off. I'm like waterproof clothing. It just rolls off. But I'm there. I'm aware it's raining. And it's because I have certainty that I have value and I'm likable. Maybe not to certain people because I push them in certain ways. You got to fucking sign up, this and that. Okay, so you don't like me. But my team likes me in certain areas. They don't like me when I'm selling them on shit because that's the only way to wake people up to fucking buy shit. If I just posted a link and was like, sign up, just made a post, sign up, it'd be less than 1/10 of the signups as me pushing guys. But a consistent thing that I've heard, now it's different because I've lived with these guys for so long, but a consistent thing that I've heard is I'm a totally different character when you come in person and you meet me and we go out. Because it's different. And so to be likable, And now you get the likability of your team. You get the respect of your team that you got value. Now, when you go out, you have certainty and you just relax in that. Stop trying to rush the tree to grow, rush the bush to grow, rush the grass to grow. You ever stare at a plant and like try to make it grow by staring at it? Like it's got to grow. So you got to really broadcast a lot of seeds. Get out there. You need a discipline daily so that you can sustain. Because it's like investing in stocks. You got to invest in your area, invest in people through positive social interactions, getting creative and leveraging. Accumulate that shit for months and years. And then when you see the work it takes to build a social life, really, 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 because the pickup artists will talk about build a social life, and they crash constantly. They crash, and it's so fake. And all the up and coming guys that are like traveling to second and third world countries to pick up a bunch of ticks or tourists or whatever, they still have no life back where they live. That's why they keep escaping to go on a vacation. That's not the life I want. I don't want to spend half my life on planes and on travels. Don't you like where you live? Don't you like the people around you? Why not? Are you not likable? They don't like you? What's up with that? There's no beauty? Why do you live there? Go move somewhere with beauty. You don't have to keep visiting unless you're stuck there because you're mama's boy and you got to be around family. Like, why would you live somewhere where there's no beautiful women and yet travel places where there's beautiful women? Just move, bro. You're just dissipating your life, wasting your life. I mean, I don't really care about you, but I'm just saying anybody that follows that habit, I got to wake them up if I'm talking to them. I love that there's weak ass, beta ass coaches out there that get a lot of clients because their clients are going to wake up at some point to AZD and IMC Nation. I just keep broadcasting the message, putting out clips, growing accounts. It's what's happened. And they're going to see that those people are fake and that this is real. And then they're going to lose all their business forever. They're not even going to have anything to retire on. They're going to have to start over, get a regular job because nobody's going to train with them. The funnel is going towards the top. You'd have to silence AZD. He's just too good. And the truth is, it all comes from a mindset. So does your discipline. When you have daily discipline, it comes from your mindset. So that his daily process leads into a fulfilling social life. And when you see how much effort it will take, months and years of accumulating goodness, especially to put the e-brake on the fucking momentum that you've been putting out in the world and to turn it 180 or, whatever, a different direction and start going in that direction. Stay consistent because you got multiple personalities in you that get triggered by mom's nagging or, hunger or sickness or just a song that reminds you of an ex or something, a knock on the head. Like there's shit in there that you're not, it's on the other side of your consciousness and you get triggered into a totally different decision-making algorithm process called a personality. And you make decisions that are destructive to the decisions that you're making when you're in a positive state. You're on your purpose. And you got to stop making self-destructive decisions. That's really hard to get aware of that if you don't have a team. The team reflects on you that, hey, you're dark. Hey, you're out of character. Hey, why are you acting weak? Hey, why are you dragging your feet? Or maybe they don't even call you out, but through interacting with them and knowing their positivity, you wake up to your own down state or your own lethargy or whatever. The value of the team's invaluable. And so when you see it's months or years of accumulating this shit to build a life that you have choice of women, that you have a lifestyle, that you're free of suppression, you still handle haters or whatever, but man, it's a journey. On this prison planet, it's worth it to breathe finally, or just go and join, stop studying AZD and IMC, just go join them. But if you're in, man, you got to jump in. When you see the effort it takes to do that, then the value of getting an accelerated software program, an accelerated understanding to accelerate your journey on that saves you so many years, so much heartache, so much, the unnecessary effort of trying too much. There's the unnecessary suffering of doing it wrong longer than you need to. You don't need to do it wrong. And what is it? Display your character. Be yourself, but you're doing it wrong because when you be yourself and you relax all effort, you still have neural pathways. Like I said, if you're running and you have perfect form, there's still neural pathways. There's effort to do the thing. And how are the neural patterns set up? If you just relax and do nothing, it's just going to be the patterns, the grooves that they are. And then how long will it take you to become self-aware while you're in it? Are you like some spiritual master, third person perspective of yourself at all times, and you're naturally calibrating everything in all moments? I'm telling you, the world, the worries of the world, the beauty of the woman, the lust, the pleasure will pull you into the hypnosis, pull you out of that spiritual perspective over and over and over, and you'll find yourself 3 days later, oh shit, I've been acting out of character. The team and living at the base, visiting, it's so valuable to wake yourself up. more and more and more. And I'm continually waking up like I'm still learning in class, guys. It's presence. It's not the data that I'm learning. I'm learning a presence and a way to communicate with AZD being in the environment with us in class or on Zoom or whatever. Like I'm about to meet him out. We're gonna go to a lounge. I don't know. I think we're going to a lounge. Whatever. We're going to a lounge or we're going to a club or we're doing both. Lounge club. It's like a long night out. Whatever. Monday night, Vegas. Monday night Vegas, like Monday night football. So much social calibrating with the guys that go out with the venue and to see AZD, a social master, man, how he's in and out, how he changes his pace, his presence, his energy level. And it's an aesthetic that he carries because he comes from hanging out with one or two or three girlfriends. He goes home to another girlfriend that's waiting for him at night just to sleep over, whatever. And he's just always in that. He's always around girlfriends or he's teaching or he's in field with us. That's just his 24/7 life for years. So when you're around him, there's mirror neurons, there's osmosis that happens, there's a vibe transfer, there's certainty, confidence, the demeanor, the walk of a man who's just abundant with women for many years. The calibrations, it's freeing because you can be like that in your own way. And the calibrating and the feedback you get from him comes from a location of that apex experience of women. That is an extremely valuable perspective. Like he did an event not long ago where one of his girlfriends observed you, the student, and him interact for like 10 minutes. And then she gave her feedback on you, the student, to him, not to you, but like talk. And it was like so valuable to get a ten's perspective, being honest, being trained by AZD on how to communicate these things. And you got to trust that she's being honest. I mean, she's not saying like you can just tell she's giving a woman's honest feedback of it would be like if you had a girlfriend and she told you, not him, but told you some honest feedback about your best friend who was asking for some feedback. How do women see me? Okay, girl, sit behind me. Okay, tell me this, tell me that, tell me this, tell me that. Okay, what do you think about that? And then she gives her honest feedback about you. Okay, now your girl's a 10, been with you like 10 years, and she knows this is your business. She can't lie or she's gonna hurt your business if she fucks up. She's gotta be what she's there to be, a 10 who's giving a female's perspective of the student. And so, okay, understand AZD's got at least 4 or 5 10s and then like 2 9s or something. He is the 10 to her. So when you interact with him, it's like interacting with 7 girlfriends, the male reflection of that. 7 of those women giving you feedback when he gives you feedback, which doesn't have to be, hey, change your hair, this or that, or whatever. It's just the conversation back and forth. The ping pong pang of the frequencies in the conversation with him shows you where you're at. And then multiple of those, and wow, you start to really locate yourself. And then the team and everything. It's set up. We have it set up for this. It's what we've been doing for years. So recommend come to Vegas, brother. Come to Vegas for 3 nights. You won't be the same again. Man. Are there any questions or comments, guys that are online? I gotta go in like 5 minutes. I gotta start getting ready. All right. I'm gonna end the live stream. Troy, if you stick around for a second, I want to talk to you for a second. All right. Everybody, salute. Go to imcbase1.com. That's where the free newsletter is. 100 plus pieces of content from AZD. You won't find anywhere. imcbase1.com. Join the newsletter. Everything else. If you want to come in person, DM me. Talk to you next time. This is badass, man. When is your next video? Man, I really don't know. I do these sporadically. So uh, that's all I can say about that. But we should talk. If you liked it, let's talk. Everybody. J Guru Dev. Be the best. Fuck the rest. IMC Nation. That's dumb.